We need to stop putting dogs in situations they cannot handle and expect a different outcome. If this continues, it'll be Groundhog Day, every single time. Let's take a look at what we do and how we can help our dogs achieve calmer greetings. One thing people can do to help with this today is stop the "who is that" game when people arrive. You may have your own version of it, but it typically goes something like, "Who's that? Who's that coming? Is that Sam? Is Sam home now?" All the "who's that" game does is encourage the very behaviour we really don't want to continue. If you hear someone coming, don't announce it. It really should be a non-event. We want less emotions attached to people arriving. So why would we encourage more arousal and emotions around someone entering? We know when people arrive, they can't lower that excitement, but we think this time they'll settle. It will work today, but it is up to us to put in the changes that they need. If your dog is giving you clear signals with their behaviour that they are overwhelmed, over-aroused and overexcited when people arrive, maybe they're barking, jumping, spinning, lunging or screeching, they're telling you very clearly they cannot handle the situation they're in. So what can we do to help this? The solution to this would depend on the actual dog and how extreme their response is. For nearly all scenarios like this, distance away from the door is your friend, as is repetition and setting up a new behaviour you would like to see instead. So we need to put certain steps in place to help them to get there. For some, that may be setting up and practicing a situation where a licky mat or Kong with high value food is immediately given when a guest knocks or rings the doorbell, or even when you see them coming up the path. But they likely won't be interested in it if you don't create that distance, and you may need to temporarily use a barrier. You can do this by giving them a licky mat outside, in another room, or behind a baby gate, or even setting up a scenario of when the doorbell rings, it means a visit to the yard, their crate, or bed for their favourite item. Okay, we've got some licky mats. And
I know he's already in his crate.
Yeah, too, you're ready to go. Okay, so to stop the barking when people arrive, okay, we want that new behaviour. The new behaviour that we're going to do is actually getting them into their crates, okay? Yeah. So what I want you to do is I want you to pop this. They're not likely to jump up there, are they?
They'll be right.
Okay, so pop one up there and pop one on top of there. Okay, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to knock. Now, it's okay if they go bark, bark, bark.
Yeah.
Okay. But then be as quick as you can to get those in.
Yeah.
All right?
Okay.
Really good. Now, we're just going to sit here and chat for a minute and see if they start to bark.
It's already completely different.
It is. It is. So, they're far more interested in that.
Yeah, okay.
So that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even bother with that baby gate there.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you need that.
Yeah.
If this is, this is going to be a game changer. Rather than those treats, we're going to put those licky mats in every time. Yeah. So you are going to need a couple more licky mats.
Yeah, I'm ready.
You're going to have
my room covered in licky mats.
If there isn't a well-practiced pattern of behaviour before you need it, it will likely not work. So rehearse that knocking or the doorbell means a Kong or licky mat in an area away from the door. Some dogs need to lessen their excitement with knocking and the doorbell. They will need slowly desensitise to this. Often it's the knocking and doorbell which starts the pattern of behaviour we don't want. So it needs to be slowly worked on by gradually increasing the knock volume and slowly working up to the handle moving. and then the door itself opening. This part can't be rushed. So there's a point where, I thought he was just about to sit then. Great.
Good boy. Should I do the door handle?
No,
Not yet.
Yeah, soon, not quite yet. Ooh, so see how he's like, he just checked down there because last time he heard, they're so clever. Last time he heard a loud knock, there was that.
Down there.
Yeah, he did, and that's caused that barking. And reward.
Good boy.
Very good.
Good boy.
Very good.
Good
And
boy.
now do it again. Just touch the handle. Very good.
Boy. Good boy.
Don't rush this. Slowly add a person, a family member already living in the house is a good idea with this because they may not have that extreme excitement associated with them. If you have set up a new pattern of behaviour of giving them a Kong or a licky mat, over time you can start to decrease the distance when your guest enters. They may start to automatically go to the area they have their item in, and then over time you can think about decreasing the distance. But remember, distance and management are needed until this is a well-rehearsed new pattern of behaviour. Another way to help this is to teach place or mat work. Again, you need to practice this before you need it. For some dogs, the simple act of having a place to go to when someone arrives can help enormously. Some like to be right by the door, others need it further away. You will still need to desensitize to the knocking and the person entering. Start making yourself and people coming and going from the house a non-event for your dog. Work on calm arrivals and calm departures. When people or visitors arrive, there shouldn't be pats and more pats and, hey buddy, good dog, who's a good boy, when they're leaping and scrambling at them. All this does is encourage a dog that sees people arriving as a time to get excited because that person is just about here. They heard the car. They know it's fun time and pat time and fuss time. And unfortunately, an overexcited dog that has jumped on their visitors has usually been rewarded by the very fuss and pats that visitor is giving to them. And remember the golden rule of dog training: what is reinforced will be repeated. Whether it is you entering or leaving or a visitor, it really should be a bit of a non-event, and it will only be that way if we practice by making it a non-event. Some dogs need to have their energy lowered even more, especially if they're showing high arousal and are really difficult to calm at other times. If you're struggling with a hyper dog that is difficult to calm or struggle with arousal around walks, these next videos can help.